I used to think I was working hard at trading. I would wake up, open the charts, and sit there for hours. Multiple coins, multiple time frames, multiple ideas at the same time. I felt busy, I felt committed, I felt like I was doing what successful traders do. And yet, my account kept bleeding. Not one dramatic explosion, just slow, embarrassing loss after loss. The kind of losing that does not make you quit immediately, but slowly eats your confidence until you start wondering if you are built for this at all. And the scariest part is that I was improving my knowledge the whole time. I knew more strategies, I knew more patterns, I knew more rules. I could explain concepts better, I could sound smart in a conversation, but I was still losing. So if you are in that phase right now, watching videos, studying charts, grinding for hours, and you still cannot get consistent, this video might hit a little too close, because I am going to tell you the uncomfortable truth. I was not losing because I did not know enough. I was losing because I could not stop doing one thing, and the day I stopped doing it, trading did not become easy, but it became simple, repeatable, calm, almost boring. And the money followed after. Stay until the end, because I am not just going to tell you what I changed. I am going to show you exactly how to apply it starting tomorrow, even if you still feel emotional, even if you still feel inconsistent, even if you still feel like you are behind. Let me take you back to the version of me that thought more effort meant more profit. Every morning I had the same ritual: coffee, charts, hope. I would tell myself, today is the day it clicks. I would sit down with genuine good intentions. Sometimes I would even write a little plan, a level, a setup, a rule. Then the market would do what it always does. It would move, and every move felt like a personal invitation. A candle pops up. I think, this could be it. A breakout starts. I think, I have to catch this. A dip happens. I think, perfect buy. Another coin starts trending. I think, let me check that one too. I was not trading, I was hunting stimulation. And the worst part is, it felt productive. Because I was always doing something, always clicking, always adjusting, always managing, always working. But my results were chaos. Some days I would start green, then give it all back. Other days I would go red early and spend the rest of the session trying to fix it. I would end sessions exhausted, staring at my trade history like it was evidence from a crime scene. And then, at night, I would do what every struggling trader does. I would blame the wrong thing. I would blame the market. I would blame news. I would blame liquidity. I would blame the exchange. I would blame the strategy. But the truth was simpler and more painful. I was the problem. And specifically, my problem was this. I was forcing trades. Overtrading was just the symptom. Forcing was the disease. Now, when people hear overtrading, they imagine someone taking random trades with no plan. But that was not me. I had a plan, I had rules, I had setups. But I still forced trades because my real issue was not a lack of rules. My issue was that my rules did not control me. My emotions did. And here is the one thing I stopped doing that changed everything. I stopped trying to make money every day. That sounds too simple, so let me explain it properly. When you sit down to trade with the goal of making money today, you create pressure. Pressure creates urgency. Urgency creates mistakes. Under pressure, you force trades. Under pressure, you chase moves. Under pressure, you take almost setups. Under pressure, you increase size. Under pressure, you break rules. The market does not punish you because it hates you. It punishes you because rush decisions are low-quality decisions. So the real change was not just trade less. That is vague. The real change was, I stopped using the market to fix my mood. I stopped trading to feel relief. I stopped trading because I felt bored, behind, or frustrated. Because forcing is what kills retail traders. Let me show you what forcing looked like for me, because you will recognize yourself. The day would start slow, no perfect setups. And instead of doing the professional thing, waiting, I would get uncomfortable. My brain would whisper, you are wasting time. Real traders are active. Do something. So I would start looking for trades that were not truly my setup, but close enough to convince myself. The market would give me movement, and I would call it opportunity. I would enter and it would go slightly against me. And because I entered in a low-quality spot, I had no emotional stability. A normal pullback felt like danger, so I would close early for a small loss, or I would move my stop loss to give it room. Then price would reverse, without me. And that would trigger the most dangerous emotion in trading, the need to be right. I would re-enter, late. Now I am chasing. Now my stop loss makes no sense. Now my risk is emotional. Then the market does what it always does after you chase. It pulls back again, not because it hates you, because markets breathe. But when you enter late, normal pullbacks feel like punishment. So I would panic, I would cut early, or I would widen my stop again, and then I would tell myself, I am learning. No, I was practicing bad habits. And the worst part is, it never felt like I was making one big mistake. It felt like I was making 100 small ones. One extra trade, one early entry, one small rule break, one little chase. Those are the trades that kill profitability. Not because any one of them is catastrophic, but because they bleed you slowly and destroy your confidence. This is why trading feels impossible for most people. It is not because the market is unbeatable. It is because your brain is not designed for waiting. It is designed for action, and the market uses that against you. Now here is the turning point. One day I did something that felt almost insulting to my ego. I stopped trying to trade more, and I started trying to lose better. I know how that sounds, but listen carefully. I looked back at my last month and asked one brutal question. When I lose money, why? Not what happened on the chart. Why did I lose? And when I was honest, the answers were always the same. I traded when I was bored. I traded after missing a move. I traded to make it back. I traded because I wanted action. I traded because I was emotional. In other words, I was not losing because I lacked a strategy. I was losing because I lacked a stopping point. So I created one. And this is the rule that changed everything. 2 trades per day, maximum. That was it. 2. At first, I thought this would destroy my progress. I thought, how will I learn if I only take 2 trades? But the truth is, taking 20 trades a day does not make you learn faster. It makes you repeat mistakes faster. It makes you practice impulsiveness. It makes you addicted to clicking. 2 trades per day forced me to become selective. It forced me to wait. It forced me to accept boredom. And boredom is the price of professionalism. Here is the first hook I want you to remember. When you only have 2 bullets, you stop shooting at noise. You stop taking maybe trades. You stop taking almost setups. You start waiting for clear. And clear is where money lives. Now let me tell you what happened in the first week of the 2-trade rule, because this is where most people quit the rule too early. Day 1, I took 1 trade. It lost. Immediately my brain wanted revenge. It wanted to do something. I felt that itchy urgency in my hands. But I had a rule now, so I sat there. I watched the market continue to move. I watched setups almost appear. I watched my mind try to trick me with thoughts like, this is close enough, or you can bend the rule once. And for the first time, I realized something shocking. Most of my trading was not driven by opportunity. It was driven by discomfort. The discomfort of being wrong. The discomfort of missing out. The discomfort of boredom. The discomfort of feeling behind. That day, I did not make money. I ended red. But I did something far more important. I did not spiral. Day 2, I took 2 trades. 1 win, 1 loss. Normally, after a win, I would get overconfident and start clicking more to ride the hot hand. But I stopped at 2 trades. And when I stopped, I felt this weird feeling. It was like my brain was still running, but my hands were not. That is discipline. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is separation. The ability to feel an urge and not obey it. Day 3, I only took 1 trade because nothing else matched my setup. That day felt painfully boring. But later, when I reviewed my old logs, I realized something. Most of my biggest losing days were not caused by bad markets. They were caused by me refusing to accept boredom. That is what the 2-trade rule attacks directly. Now let me go deeper into the psychology, because if you understand this, you will stop treating overtrading like a moral failure and start treating it like a predictable brain pattern. Overtrading is often a form of emotional regulation. You are not entering because it is a great setup. You are entering because you want to change how you feel. Bored? You trade. Frustrated? You trade. Embarrassed? You trade. Missed a move? You trade. Lost a trade? You trade. It is the market version of checking your phone for messages when you feel lonely. It does not fix the emotion. It just creates more noise. The two-trade rule forces you to sit with the emotion instead of medicating it with clicking. And this is why it transforms your results faster than a new strategy. Because most strategies fail in retail hands, not because they are bad, but because people cannot execute them consistently. Now let me open a loop that a lot of traders are afraid to face. What if your strategy is actually fine and your problem is your inability to stop? That is a scary thought because it means the solution is not another video, another indicator, another secret. The solution is you. But that is also good news because you can change you. And the first step is putting a hard limit on your worst behavior. Now let me give you a visual that changed my mindset. Imagine you are playing a game where each trade is a coin flip with slight advantage, but only if you follow rules. Trade number 1, you are calm. Trade number 2, you are still fairly calm. Trade number 3, your emotions start getting louder. By trade number 5, you are no longer trading your setup. You are trading your mood. So when you take 10 to 20 trades a day, you are spending most of your time trading in emotional mode. And emotional mode is negative expectancy, even if your setup is decent. So the two-trade rule is not less opportunity. It is less emotional mode. That is why profits improve. Now, let us make this practical for you, because I want you to leave this video with a plan, not just inspiration. Here is how to apply the shift starting tomorrow. First, pick one setup you will trade, not 5. 1. Because if you have 5 setups, you will always find a reason to trade. One setup forces clarity. Second, set your trade limit, 2 trades max. Third, set a daily stop rule, not a dollar amount, a behavior amount. After 2 trades, you are done, even if you are green, even if you are red, because the most dangerous moment in trading is not the first loss. It is the moment after a win when you feel invincible, and the moment after a loss when you feel desperate. The 2-trade limit protects you from both. Now you might be thinking, but what if I get 2 losers and my day is red? Good. That is part of the training, because a professional-looking red day is more valuable than a gambler's green day. A professional red day builds discipline. A gambler green day builds addiction. And addiction is what keeps most traders stuck for years. So yes, some days you will take 2 losses, but you will sleep better, you will learn faster, you will stop spiraling, and over time, consistency improves. Here is something most people do not understand until it happens to them. When you trade less, you actually learn more, because you can review properly, you can journal honestly, you can see patterns. When you take 20 trades, everything becomes a blur. You cannot even remember why you entered half of them. But when you take 1 or 2 trades, each trade becomes a lesson. You remember what you felt, you remember what triggered you, you remember what you did wrong, and that awareness is what builds skill. Now let me give you another story inside the story, because this is what most beginners think is happening. They think profitable traders are confident all the time. They think profitable trading feels like constant winning. That is not true. Profitable trading often looks like fewer trades, fewer emotions, and more boring repetition. In other words, it looks like a normal job. You show up, you execute, you log, you leave. No drama. And that is why the 5% look calm. They are not calm because they do not care. They are calm because they have a system strong enough to keep them from self-destruction. Now here is a dangerous misunderstanding I need to prevent. Some traders here trade less, and they become passive. They become scared. They avoid good setups and call it discipline. That is not what we are doing. We are not talking about avoidance. We are talking about selectivity. Selectivity means you still execute your setup when it is there. You just stop forcing trades when it is not. Avoidance is fear. Selectivity is control. You will know the difference by how it feels. Fear feels tight. It feels like you are protecting yourself from pain. Selectivity feels calm. It feels like you are waiting for quality. Now let me close another loop and tell you the exact moment I knew this was working. It was not a huge winning day. It was not some cinematic comeback. It was a red day. I took 2 trades. Both were valid setups. Both lost, and I still felt calm. I wrote them down. I reviewed them. I walked away. And instead of feeling like a failure, I felt proud because I knew I executed correctly. That is the moment you start separating from the crowd, because most retail traders cannot handle that. They cannot handle losing and still behaving like a professional. They need drama, they need stimulation, they need action, and the market uses that need to drain them. Now I want to make the lesson even more concrete. Here are the 2 questions that changed my trading. Instead of asking, "How do I make money today?" I started asking, "How do I avoid dumb losses today?" And instead of asking, "Where will price go?" I started asking, "Is my setup here? Yes or no?" Those questions are simpler. They are less emotional. They are answerable. And answerable questions reduce stress. Now, if you are listening and thinking, "This sounds good, but I'm worried I'll miss opportunities," let me give you the truth. You will miss opportunities. Every profitable trader misses opportunities. The difference is, they do not turn missed opportunities into real losses. Missing is normal. Chasing is expensive. Your goal is not to catch everything. Your goal is to catch the right few things. Now let me give you a tiny challenge that will upgrade you quickly. For the next 10 sessions, track one thing. Not profit. Track how many times you wanted to break the 2-trade rule. That number will shock you, because it will reveal what is actually controlling your trading. If you feel the urge to click after 2 trades, that urge is the addiction. That urge is the habit. And once you can see it, you can change it. Now let me wrap this into the main message because I want it to land. I was not losing because my strategy was bad. I was losing because I was forcing trades to fix my emotions. I was trying to make money every day. I was trying to win the session. And that pressure turned me into a worse trader. The day I stopped forcing, trading became simple. Not easy, simple. 1 setup, fixed risk, 2 trades, journal, walk away. And after enough repetition, something happened. I stopped needing the market to entertain me. I stopped needing the market to validate me. I started executing. And execution is the real edge. So if you have been grinding for months, watching strategy after strategy, feeling like you are not improving, let me give you the real takeaway. You might not need a new strategy. You might need to stop doing one thing. Stop using trading to fix your emotions. Stop trying to make money every day. Stop forcing. Instead, build a process you can repeat when you are winning and when you are losing. Trade less. Trade better. Give your edge time to work, because profits do not come from clicking more. Profits come from making fewer mistakes. And the day you stop trying to win every day might be the day your trading finally starts working. If you want, in the next video, I will show you how to choose the one setup you should focus on, so that when you do take trades, they are the highest quality opportunities on your chart. But for now, remember this. You do not become profitable by finding the perfect trade. You become profitable by becoming the kind of person who can follow a plan. And that starts with one simple change. Stop forcing the market to pay you today.